Isaac Newton is mostly known to the public as a prominent scientist and the father of the laws of gravity, but a collection of his manuscripts held by the Israeli National Library reveals a new facet of the 17th century British scholar. Last week, UNESCO added 7,500 handwritten theological texts to the prestigious Memory of the World project.
Unlike his scientific works, they were never published, and actually he kept them quite secret because he was a very believing Christian, but in a sort of Christianity which, if people were to know exactly what he believed in, he would have been considered a heretic.
Kept under special conditions in the Israel National Library, the manuscripts present a fascinating glimpse into the mind of Newton, who utilized science to research the Bible. In one of the handwritten pages, Newton tries to measure the Jewish temple. On another, he uses texts from the Old Testament and calculates that the end of the world will come no sooner than 2060. But that's not as worrying a forecast as it sounds, since experts say Newton saw this date as the beginning of a new era rather than the apocalypse.
His main aim is actually to understand history according to the scriptures. And he believed that if he researches well enough the scriptures, he will come to the true understanding of what is history and what will be the end of history.
Another interesting prediction mentioned in Newton's manuscripts is the return of the Jews from exile to the land of Israel, an event that took place more than 200 years after his death.
He was actually one of the early evangelists. At that time, this was quite different from the traditional view of the church that the Jews were doomed to walk around the world reflecting the victory of Christianity over Judaism.
What does the National Library of Israel have to do with these precious items? According to Dr. Milka Levy-Rubin, the curator of the Humanities Collection, the manuscripts were not accepted by Cambridge University, which holds most of Newton's scientific texts, and fell into the hands of Abraham Shalom Yehuda, a famous Jewish writer and collector who purchased them at a Sotheby's auction in 1936.
Beside him, another well-known scholar by the name of John Maynard Keynes, the economist. When they heard of this, they ran around the book markets in London collecting the papers, and so they bought whatever they could lay their hands on.
Throughout history, science and religion have been on a collision course, but the case of Isaac Newton is quite different. The man who opened the gate to the scientific revolution apparently had a great eagerness to explore the spiritual world as well. Two different domains that Newton saw as completing each other, or as he himself put it, in the absence of any other proof, the thumb alone will convince me of the existence of God.